My name is Lori. Welcome to my channel, We Are Quilters. Today is going to be a short and sweet episode. It is all on finishing touches. I am quilting on the big machine today. I'm calling it Zoom Zoom. So, let's watch. Let's go. Here are some quilted highlights from the quilt that I just finished quilting. There are some mistakes. I am really good at swifty-loopties. I love swifty-loopties as a filler. And since it was pink flames, I had to try a pink flame. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. I like things that are swoopy and flamey. There's some more swifty-loopty. Looks good. Good enough. And when you look at the whole quilt, you can't see any of those little mistakes. Today's video is pretty basic. Here I did some sketching, and now I'm showing you part of a block before I start adding texture. I'm going to do some icicles because that looks like icicles to me, and I'm going to add some wood grain to that lovely brown batik. Notice I didn't use the whole sheet. A little bit was enough to give me an idea. And here we go. I always try to outline a block section at a time that contains any problems within that block. That works well if you're quilting on your domestic machine too. So I outline, and I'm going to do some swifty-loopties because in the background that's what I've decided I'm doing on this block is swifty-loopties. And then I'm going to do the wood grain on the star points. I'm pretty good at wood grain because you don't have to have a steady hand. Matter of fact, the more wiggly and squiggly, the better your wood grain looks. So, not a hard texture to do. Pretty easy texture, as a matter of fact. Well, I lost the bobbin race there. So now it's time to put another bobbin, and the rule is always pull your bobbin thread to the top. Always, or else you end up with this mess on the bottom. Doesn't matter what machine you're on, that's always the rule. So I've pulled up the bobbin thread, and I'm getting ready to start some more wood grain. I'm outlining the shape again because it's easier to contain problems within a shape within the block than it is to chase a wrinkle or something the whole way across. So next up, I'm going to do icicles back and forth across the blue. And I'm using a gray thread, so it kind of blends in equally amongst the darker colors. So if I make a mistake, it's not going to be as critical. And I am not a professional quilter. I do this for fun. It is a hobby. So I am not worried about it being perfect. Yesterday, as I was watching YouTube in the morning to wake up, and as I was having coffee, it put me down the rabbit hole of machine quilting. And wow, some ladies are wonderful and perfect with everything they do with a long arm, but I do not aspire to be perfect. So I am quite happy with what I'm doing. As long as I'm trying and finishing the quilt so that it can be used and loved, that's what matters. I don't want it to be just a top. I want it to be a quilt. And if any of you out there are Big Bang Theory watchers, you'll know Amy tells Sheldon sometimes a little asymmetry makes things better than everything being perfectly symmetrical. So just a thought. Here I am going around the brown, and getting ready to make wood grain. Now I have speeded up this section so it looks like I'm going very fast, but I am not. I am going very slow in reality. I just didn't want you to slip into a coma while you were watching, never to awake, and see the rest of this video. So here's a close-up. Wood grain, icicles, leaves in the green sections. See, isn't that? I'm good at wood grain. Shake your hand. Good at wood grain. I still have quite a bit left to go, about half on this quilt before I'm done. Here is a quick overview of the quilt that's finished. You can't see any of the mistakes. When I am quilting it, I'm groaning the whole time. Oh, this looks horrible. But once it is done and you're looking at the big picture, it looks wonderful. Remember, a quilt isn't a quilt unless it's together with layers, held some way that it's usable to keep warm. So even if you just tie your layers together, that's better than just letting it be a top and not be used. I say this from years of experience. Next week we are working on trimming and binding a quilt, and then there's a few more parts in this series, finishing touches. While I have you here, I'd like to wish you a Happy New Year since this airs on New Year's Day. In the coming year, I hope you find tranquility, prosperity in all that you do, calm throughout your life, happiness and joy.